Welcome to the Wild Simplicity podcast, the podcast for awakening women who are ready to shed the layers, let go of the clutter, and rediscover their wild and wonderful selves that lie beneath. I'm Anna Day, and together we'll explore how to simplify, release what's no longer serving us, and embrace the possibility of living fully in this one wild and precious life. Whether you're a dreamer, a seeker, or someone who craves doing things differently, this space is for you. Let's dive in and awaken the magic within. Hi, and welcome back to the Wild Simplicity podcast. This is Anna, and the last couple of days I've been thinking about lurkers and observers and people who hang back and who don't step forward to speak or to share or to make themselves visible. And I know this all too well because I have been a lurker and an observer and somebody who stays in the periphery, who stays back, who doesn't involve themselves in what's going on. And I used to be like this all the time. And then I became more courageous and started to flex and practice with the muscle of stepping out there and using my voice and speaking. And obviously now I have a podcast but I used to be incredibly shy, and as a child I was really, really shy. I used to, hang back behind my parents' legs, peeping out from behind, and they used to ask us to go into the shops to buy milk sometimes, and I would never want to. And my younger sister would be like, I'll do it. And mum and dad would try to get me to go in and to just encourage me out of my shell a little bit, I think. And I never wanted to. I just found everything so overwhelming, and it was all too much. And I was just very, very quiet. And that changed, I think, when I started reading, well, first of all, the Feel the Fear book by Susan Jeffords, which mum gave me when I was about 14. And that introduced me into the realms of being able to affect change in our lives and to not succumb to who we are told we are and who we see ourselves as, and that actually we can change who we are and how we show up in the world. And that was such a revelation for me and completely new information. And so I started to play with that and became more courageous, and then through the courage in action, more confident and more able to speak. But then still to this day, within large groups, particularly very, very large groups, I tend to stay back and not I go between the two. So I get involved and I tend to share, and then I will go through a stage where I'm like, oh, what's the point? There's so many people. I won't be noticed. It doesn't matter anyway. Everyone else knows each other. I make up stories about how everybody is very good friends except for me. And all those stories we all create for ourselves to other ourselves and to make ourselves feel like we don't belong. And I realized that the more I was going to say coax myself from the periphery. It's not coaxing, has a kind of a negative connotation. I think encourage myself gently to build capacity to come out away from the wall, because sometimes I feel like I'm pressed against the back wall of a big hall and there's all people in front of me, and I just don't want to move from there. And the courage to bring myself a little bit forward and into the mix and into life and into communicating with people and getting involved it's so incredible, because it's such a lovely way to be in the world. It's such a lovely way of self-expression when we can not only be present in a space, whether it be in person or virtual, but to actually contribute and to make an impact and to feel like we have something to say, feel like we have something to share, that our voice matters, that our words matter, that our beliefs matter, that our opinion matters. And a lot of us had been led to believe that we don't matter and that our opinions aren't important, and that somebody else has something better to say and more interesting to say and more clever to say and more smart and more intelligent and more whatever it is. And really our power is more and more ignited when we can honor that self-expression that is within all of us. And whether that be amongst your family, with your partner, with your kids, with your immediate friends, or on a larger scale, like on social media, or in your business or in your workplace, wherever it may be, any context, and find out where the places you are really comfortable with sharing. and other places where you mightn't be so comfortable with sharing. And perhaps you're comfortable in a work setting where it's more professional and you're giving more factual information, or you're, talking about things that are not personal. And then maybe when you're in more intimate settings, it is harder to share, and it's harder to step away from the wall and away from the periphery and bring yourself into the mix. And I mean, I'm on social media. I love interacting with other people. I love when I see someone share a story or a post, and if something is ignited in me, I will, more often than 90% of the time, I will interact. I'll say something, I'll leave a comment, or I'll, put a little heart on the stories. And I guess that also comes from being a creator and having a business myself, that I know what it's like when somebody replies or says something that means the world. It's like, oh wow, a human has interacted, and they're resonating with something I'm saying, or they're wanting a conversation, and they have something else to say that is a different perspective than mine, and they want to share that with me, and that's really special and really amazing. So I think that's why I feel even more encouraged to do that. But I was thinking about, like, so there's so many of us who are on social media particularly, and we just scroll mindlessly, and it's all consumption. And because I've made a commitment to myself recently, and a devotion really, to create more than I consume. And I think that's a really important part of being human, not being human, of our vitality, of feeding. For me, certainly, I know when I express, and when I, for instance, I'm doing the podcast more consistently, and I'm sharing what's on my mind, what's on my heart, what's in my world in real time, it's very powerful, and it's very healing for me. It's very and it resonates with people more because it's very real, it's very true, and it's it really helps to interact with life and to interact with people and to bring us into life. And I think that I talked before in this podcast about random acts of kindness, and saying things like, when I'm thinking something about someone that I like their top, or their something about what they've said, or their energy, I will tell them now, if it's possible, like if I'm in the near them, or able to go across and tell them. And sometimes I'll go out of my way to go and tell them, because the impact we have on telling somebody what we are thinking, those kind words, ripples out beyond what we can ever imagine. And I think being able to share something kind with someone can make their day. They may look like they're having a really good day anyway, but perhaps there's something inside that they're feeling a little bit sad about, or they're, feeling a little down themselves. And our words can have such impact, and beyond what we may know or understand or ever realize. And it's really like, there's the random acts of kindness for me are such a big, creating that butterfly effect, that it's each action, each word, each phrase, each compliment, each kind word can have such an effect, ripple out beyond what we can imagine. And that lights me up. And, you hear people, I hear other business owners and other people in general who say, um, somebody came who they knew in their childhood, for instance, might come back to them years and years later and say, you said this thing to me once, and it changed my life. It changed the course of how I thought about things, or what I did, or decisions I made. And the person is like, what? I don't even remember saying that, or it was such a flyaway comment. But like, it's what we have to say to other people in kindness and love is so much more important than we believe. And I think a lot of the times, I know in the past, I've definitely been like, oh, what's the point in sharing that? It's just, that seems silly, and it's a bit cringy, and it's a bit whatever. But I think sharing these things is so beautiful. I was thinking about social media the other day, and that how not only can it help the other people that we are sharing with. So like, you see someone's story, you see you read a post that really impacts you, like, leave a comment for somebody, and it's not because it'll obviously help them. It'll be really nice for them to receive your kind words. But more so, in what I'm talking about here, is how it feeds us. It feeds our self-expression. It feeds when we can express what's within us and what we're thinking, and keep it coming out into the world. It continues the loop of vitality within us. It's like releasing that stagnation. If we keep stuff inside, just like our emotions, when I was talking last week about feeling our emotions, if our emotions are all kept inside, stagnated, stuck, getting all clogged up, it creates problems in our lives. And same thing for our words and our expression, and what we think about things, and our view of the world, and what we want to bring to life in the world, what we want to create our vision for what the world could be like, or what we dream about, what we desire, what we want, sharing all these things from on whatever scale it is, like from a one-to-one friendship or partnership, all the way up to, speaking on stages, or people who are authors and have books, or who have anything, like speaking to, it doesn't matter how many people you're speaking to, but it's the act of taking action on the words that you have in here and in your heart is so much greater than we are led to believe. And that moment where you think something kind, or you think you want to say something, and then there's the no, and you retreat back into ourselves. And that's happened to me so many times, that almost going to say something, and then and it's so that shutting down is such a deflating feeling. It deadens life, the life inside us. When that is allowed to come out, it's so bolstering, and it's so vital. It's such a bit of our vitality, and nourishes us. So the words we speak not only nourish other people, but they nourish ourselves. When we have taken the nudge and the ping and the whatever we're feeling, to put it out into the world. And that could be also then you writing blogs or posts, or starting, it could be that, or start writing, or whatever it is. But if you are somebody on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, TikTok, any social media that you scroll and you consume, have a consideration about leaving a comment, or even liking it, or interacting with somebody, because it gives us a sense of confidence as well. When we do that, we can feel, oh, I'm making a difference in this world. I am contributing to this world. I'm having an impact. And I think as well, the bigger the accounts, for instance, on Instagram, I know I used to be like, oh, that person has whatever, hundreds of thousands of followers. They don't need my comment. They're not going to see it. It doesn't really matter. And that's completely not true. It doesn't matter. So especially as well with the people who have the loads and loads and loads of followers, okay, there's a chance they mightn't see your comment, but there's also a chance they might. And there's a chance that your words will shift something in them, or will give them a little boost in their day. And so it doesn't matter if it's, who you're sharing with. If you're feeling something in your heart, don't hold it back, because we can also hold things back out of fear, and out of like, well, they don't need their ego inflated anymore. That type of, who does she think she is? Who does he think he is? You know, not wanting to make someone think too much about themselves. And it's really, when we can shove that to the side gently and say, I'm going to do this anyway. I'm going to share, and I'm going to go from my heart. And I'm feeling that these words have really affected me. I'm really grateful for what this person has said. I'm really grateful for what this person has shared. And we can say something and contribute. It really helps us. And I'm in a group program at the moment, and there are times at the beginning I was really enthusiastic, and I was sharing, and I was sharing in the community space, typing, and then I was sharing on some calls, and then it went into very old patterns, and from childhood, of shrinking, hiding, and it was really visceral. Like I could feel how it was just echoes of the past. And my nervous system, I think, because of the expansion, because it knows I am coming towards an edge or a precipice, and it's like, okay, this is not safe anymore, so come back in. And I could feel myself having those similar feelings of like being at the periphery, just wanting to like edge against the wall, and just nobody look at me, nobody see me. And so I really had the urge to speak about this, because it's something that's been so present in my life throughout the evolution of me, and it's interesting how it comes back at certain phases. And so then last week it came, or the last few days, it came into my awareness again. And when we bring things into our conscious awareness as well, we can look at them and we can hold them up and be like, is this true? And see where that behavior is coming from, see what feels unsafe in our environment and in our circumstances that is causing us to feel this way again. And Yes, it's been a very interesting exploration, and I'm really noticing that when I share with, and I share this with my friends and share this with people who can hold space for this for me, and it's really it's really fascinating, and it's really, and then knowing as well as being the recipient, when I get either a voice message or someone comments and tells me how the podcast is landing or how different offerings I've done have landed. It's so lovely to have that human real interaction with somebody, and then have a little bit of back and forth sometimes, and it's really special, and it's really life-giving for everybody involved, for the giver and the receiver. And so if we can get past ourselves and what we've been taught and conditioned about how many compliments we should be giving, and when it's too much, and when it matters and when it doesn't matter, and if how significant we are, insignificant we are, and how many people are around us, so what's the point, all these thoughts and stories that are there, when we can see those stories and see those patterns and comment and share anyway, share our voice. All of our voices are so important. All of our kind words and our love, sharing love with each other and sharing kindness with each other it's so needed more than ever now. And there's such an easy way of doing it in day-to-day life, like even with gestures. It doesn't have to be words, with gestures and with a glance, a smile, um, a reassuring look, uh, just taking a little bit, slowing down, taking a little bit more time to look in another person's eyes and ask them how they were, how they are, or to um, comment if you've noticed something. Just say the thing, and before the the impetus comes in to like shut down, oh no, we shouldn't be saying that, it's like catch yourself when the thought, the kind word, the compliment comes up, and allow it to be, to like set it free. Don't let it to go down inside and stagnate inside your body. And if you get to the point where, okay, you don't say it in the moment, and then you're reminded of that person or that share or that comment later in the day or in the coming days, I encourage you to go back and seek them out. And if, when you see them the next time in the shop, or whenever at the next meeting, or another post of theirs on social media, I encourage you to then reveal yourself and say that really resonated, or thank you for for sharing that. It really hit something inside of me. And I've had some really nice conversations with people who, when I have dared to have the courage to reach out and to comment, and especially as well in the larger arenas and places where I think, oh, nobody's going to see this. And it's lovely for me then for my compliment to be received by someone as well. That's underestimated as well, what it can feel like when a compliment is received by somebody and really taken in, and when they can hear the kind words we are offering and the love we are offering, and it's really special. So yeah, taking the time, having the courage, mid interrupt your scroll tonight or tomorrow or whenever it is, whenever you're next scrolling on your phone, mindlessly consuming, bring in some creativity, a droplet of creativity from your heart, your soul, and share that out with the person or with the world, or wherever way you want to. But you might not necessarily be wanting to create more in the world than you are consuming. That might be a bit of a stretch, but at least, rather than only being the recipient and the consumer of content, of whatever it may be, to have a little aperture, little droplet, and dabble with creation, and allowing your words to be heard and shared with another person, and yeah, see what happens afterwards, how you feel having shared. And you mightn't even, it's not about the response you get either, because you mightn't get a response, and allow that to be okay too. That it's the mere fact of you sharing your words, your voice, your thoughts, your kindness, your love in the world, and how that fills you up. And then try it again the next day. And it's really, because we're all often looking to receive love, to receive, like, I need to receive things to feel good and to feel, looking to the outside world for us to feel okay. And actually it can come from us. So what if we are the ones to instigate and to tap into how sharing our inner world, our kind words and our love with other people can actually fill us up as well, and can create such vitality within us, such nourishment. It's like it's also because it seems like it's expending energy because you're sending things out into the world, love, kindness, words. These are all infinite. There is no limit on love and kindness and kind words and sharing from our heart. It's endless, limitless. It's boundless. And therefore you don't need to worry about there not being enough or somebody getting too much. And notice that when you also focus on you giving your love and kindness to the world, that it actually fills you up. It's so beautiful, and it's such a lovely circle and replenishing, regenerative way of living, and that we sometimes forget about. And so, yeah, focus on putting it out there into the world. And you might think, okay, I have no energy to do this today. I just want to, but even a little heart, a little, I don't know, or a kind text to your friend. I'm thinking of you. Anything at all, something small that won't take your too much of your energy. Because if you're tired and you're worn down and you're just fed up, I get it. But also see what, when you send a little text, share the words, share the thoughts, what way that can actually feed you and give you the nourishment and vitality that you're craving and that you need, and that will multiply within you as well. So it's exponential. Like as soon as you start sharing and start spreading love and kindness, and it fills you up. And then the more we're filled up, the more we can give to other people. And it's a really regenerative process and a regenerative thing to be able to share. And our self-expression is so important. Don't keep your kindness and your love to yourself. Give loads of it to yourself, yes, and it's endless. It's endless. It replenishes all the time. So give it out freely and within reason. Caveat that, but give it out to people, the kind words you're thinking, and allow it to flow out of you. Allow yourself to be the abundant being you are, to be the loving soul that you came here to be, and to interact with your other fellow humans, and to ignite perhaps something in them, and to make a difference, to have an impact, to bring yourself out of the invisible into the visible. I was thinking earlier, I had this image yesterday of is it in Harry Potter? He has an invisibility cloak. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And to take off the invisibility cloak and to allow yourself to be seen in all your glory and all your shyness and all your whatever you're going through as well. It doesn't have to be in your joy and shiny and lovely and happy. It's in you as your authentic self, as you are, enough as you are, in your worth, in yourself. And yeah, allow that to be seen and to be heard in the world. And the self-expression it's such a healthy way for us to nourish ourselves. And that saying, what is the saying? The opposite of self-expression is depression. So keeping all these things to ourselves, it's heavy to carry all that, but when we can know that we can release it, declutter. It's decluttering everything. Decluttering. This is like decluttering our words, letting the words out as this is for this person. This compliment is for this woman. This compliment is for this man. These kind words are for this person, and allow them to be coming out, because it's more and more grows inside of you. And same as when we create space in our homes, what things can open up to us, and creating space in our emotional world as well, releasing, as I was talking about last week, if you haven't listened to that one about swamping, stomping, or punching the air, or pummeling the bed, or all the various ways we can somatically release emotions from our body. That creates space, and it creates liberation. It creates vitality. We can feel the life force start to move through us. And same with this self-expression, whatever self-expression means to you in the world. Try it out. See how your body responds, how you feel energy wise before you self-express and after you self-express. And it might be scary at the beginning, and be with those as well. Hold yourself for having done a courageous thing. But yeah, I would love to know how you get on with dabbling in a bit of self-expression and sharing kind words, sharing some love, and know that there's an abundance for all of us. And when we can as well be that catalyst and that example for those around us, and for our kids, and for our communities, as somebody who says what they feel and says the compliment that they're, don't keep it inside you. Don't keep it inside, share it with the person, and you might just make their day. I will talk to you next time. Have a great day, and thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me on this journey to wild simplicity. If today's episode inspired you to let go, simplify, and reconnect with your truest self, I would love for you to share it and help spread the word. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode, and follow along on Instagram at Wild Simplicity for more inspiration. Remember, life is precious and you have the power to live it fully, freely, and fiercely. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep seeking, and keep embracing the wild possibilities of life.